Very weird.
T3 Media.
Well, prepare yourself, guys. Chris here with Talking Through the Media, is your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. Look, I'm riding solo today. Today we're going to be talking about the Teacher Bay situation, the scandal, whatever you want to talk about or call it. And we are going to, I'm not just going to just give my opinion on it, because you already know I'm going to do that. I'm also going to read and talk about other people's opinions on it from social media, things that people have said about the whole Teacher Bay situation. The teachers, Miss Williams, for example, that will be the main focus on today's discussion. Is it appropriate? Is it something that should happen or be happening? And what is happening? It's about appropriate or unprofessional attire for a teacher in the schools, in front of the kids, when there should be learning going on. So, guys, if you have an opinion, a thought, a concern, anything you want to share, hit the like, subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, if you send a tip, if you want to go to the tip link at streamlabs.com /backslash T3 Media Studios /tips, I believe that's what it is. Or if you go to Super Chats and send us your support, a tip link or anything like that, we really do appreciate it. It helps keeps the lights on as we try to, keep it cash and keep it going for you guys. We're going to go through a couple of segments on this one topic here. We're going to try to keep it as short as possible, but we're going to dive deeper than what I think other people are actually saying about this situation. And it might surprise you what I might have to say about it. Don't forget, guys, we're also a podcast. If you follow us on YouTube, if you want to just like zone out, have us in the background, follow us on your favorite podcast of choice, whatever your platform is, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, anything like that, T3 Media Studios, and you can follow Talking Through the Medias or Talking Through the Movies. If you are a movie geek like me, you want to talk movies all the time. All right, let's get right into it, guys. And don't forget, if you're watching us live, share your thoughts on this whole Teacher Bay situation. And let's get into the first topic of the day. So when I was doing my research on this situation, my overall thoughts on it. All right, if I go back into my brain as like I'm a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, I'm a 17-year-old kid in high school or whatever like that, right? And you think back in the day, like especially in the 90s, boys will say the same thing. Oh, well, I wish that would happen to me. But when you become a parent and you see your child struggle the same way you struggle, and you put yourself in that mentality, you had no business thinking that was cool, because it's not cool. We as a society only really go after predators, mostly when it's men, because I feel like the concept of SA is still tied into the mentality of like penetration. So for the longest time, mostly it would be men who would get the harsher sentences, and then you would kind of sometimes see women get lighter sentences. Because that mentality, like, is it really? I mean, technically the boy had to do all the work, all that kind of stuff, but it's really about the power dynamic, right? So we'll get into all that. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any opinions about this stuff you want to share with us, let us know in the comment section. I appreciate you guys, but we're not going to be too long on it. But let me get into it. So the first topic, the only topic really, Mrs. Williams and the viral Teacher Bay controversy. Let's get into it. So there were sources like Black Enterprise and BET.com talking about this. I'm going to go to BET, and I'm going to go to their website. and let's dive into it. So there was an article that was written, and I'm going to read it. I skimmed through it, but I want to absorb it for the first time with you. So let's do this together. Let me switch the view here, and let's go. There we go. Oh, you know what? No. Let's go full mass here. All right, let's put me in the box right there. BET.com, let's talk about viral teacher base sparks outfits versus professionalism debate. Mrs. Williams' fashion-forward classroom looks are trending online, prompting conversations about style, boundaries, and body shaming. And we will be getting into a lot of that a little bit later on. This is an image from TikTok. There she goes. Obviously a very attractive young lady. Right off the bat, you get into the conversation about curves and things like that. Is she really being targeted because she's a more curvy woman? White or black or any other? Usually women who are naturally curvy will, for some reason, get the harsher treatment. It's like, put it away. We don't want to see all that, right? But then look at this image right here. As she's, stunting for the camera. And there's a student right there in the background. I'm like, you are at work. And you, as a teacher, sometimes you feel like you always have to have a sense of decor, right? It should always be present. I used to work for a school district. I was very young at that. Being a young teacher, teacher's aide, whatever, administrative, whatever it is, if you're fresh out of high school, right out of college, but you still look young as I did, I'm like 20-something years old, and I still look like I was 15. Dude, I got constantly other teachers be like, let me see your hall pass. I'm like, man, put me out my face, man. I work here. Man, it took a long time for that to settle down. But we'll discuss about how confusion will play a part of it. Let's go into it. The internet has a new main character, and this time it's Teacher Bay. Making her way back into the chat, Mrs. Williams, the educator turned viral sensation, is once again sparking debate after clips of her teaching in fitted outfits started circulating across TikTok. I'm not going to play the video. I don't have time. So moving on. Some TikTok users are convinced Miss Williams has crossed the line, saying her bodycon dresses and curve-hugging fits don't belong in the classroom. One creator, Tamara Williams, even posted a video calling her out by slipping into a modest top and slacks. You can still be cute. You can be young and turned. You can be all of it, but you're appropriate, she said. If you don't know how, then you just don't know how to dress. But Teacher Bay isn't without support. Plenty of voices online are pushing back on the idea that her outfit defines her ability to teach. Now, right there, I'm going to tell you right there, of course it doesn't define her ability to teach unless she's a bad teacher. Those are two different conversations. But we're talking about like distractions, right? We're talking about ages of, from what I can tell in the background of that image where she was chunking the deuce, we're probably talking about preteens or teens. You're already in a confusing state of mind. Hormones are hitting and things like that. And that's mostly what people are talking about. It's a perfect storm. So it's like, why? I even saw a picture where it was like, this is what teachers used to look like in the 90s. Look like the Golden Girls instead of like what women looking like today. And then you combine that with the argument of don't be trying to shame me, right? But it's like, but when are we crossing the line, So let me keep going. Let's get forward. It's the same internet cycle we've seen before. A viral clip, a flood of hot takes, and a bigger conversation about respectability politics in the workplace. It's not only about whether Williams' wardrobe is appropriate. The bigger issue is who actually sets the standards for professionalism and why those standards seem to move depending on the body in the outfit. Now, that is a very important way of clarifying it. Sometimes it even depends. Now, I'll be honest. Let's say she was a different race or something. I've seen when it's a certain demographic, could be the exact same curves or similar to, or even a different body type. and you'll get 90 to 95% praise for it. But let it be another demographic. Then it'd be like 50-50, maybe 70-30. Things like, it's crazy sometimes, right? They say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but if that beholder is biased, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. So, based on that was the article from BET. So, where does that really, where does this really go? They either criticize her attire as inappropriate, or they defend her, citing body positivity, citing personal style, right? But when is it a point where it's like, is a teacher's classroom and the school an appropriate place to make a statement like that? I send my children to school for you to teach them, not for them to help you take on the system or the status quo, and for you to make your statements. No matter what it is, whether it's body positivity, unless it's about education, or if it's about, how like respectable situations, like how bullying and things like campaigns like that, everybody can get behind. But when it's, because people like to throw the word agenda around a lot. Don't be trying to push your liberal agenda. Don't be trying to push your conservative agenda. So it's like, how when you're you see a company and it's talking about, should a company, Jonathan Majors, for example, should he have been let go before he was even found guilty, blah, 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 blah. But the argument is, we hired you to be an actor for this character. We did not hire you to take on all of this nonsense, blah, 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 blah. So, it gets to a point where it's like, I'm not saying you're guilty. I'm not saying you're innocent. I'm saying I didn't hire you for this. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it depends on the school, right? And I see you guys in the chat. Welcome back to the channel, Brianna, Jasmine. We are back as far as talking through the medias on Thursdays. I know I've been kind of tripping on whether or not my consistency level was on point, but we are back. And Mr. Legends is back in the house. I appreciate you coming back. So Thursdays is y'all's time again. We are back on a motherfucking Thursday. So I mean, and that's just, that's what all I gotta say about that. So it's like, when are we crossing lines? We have to take it into accountability that sometimes this stuff is just ridiculous. All right, let's see what. Let's go to these chats real quick. Oh man, I forgot to. I still need to figure out how through Streamlabs I can highlight your comments and display them on the screen. I wish I could figure it out in real time, but I don't. I promise you, I will have it figured out. But I don't have the third party pop up. But I will. But here we go. I'll read it. Brianna Jasmine says, "Speak on it. Same body type but different color equals different rules. There were lots of white teacher bias at my school. LOL. Mine too. And I went to a black school. And, it's there's so many things at play. Now, is she a victim of just being targeted because she's a black woman with them curves, or is she doing too much? Now, I'm not going to call it one way or the other. I'm leaving that open to you guys. You tell me. And honestly, I'm not going to say you're wrong or right based on your opinion. For some people that look at that, man, you're doing too much. Teach. Others, it's like you are targeting her too much, and you probably wouldn't be targeting her if she was fill in the blank. If she was another this or a man. Hell, there's even men teacher bays out there now. Now, I ain't gonna lie. My wife was going to the school too much, and I found out our kid's teacher was Morris Chestnut. I'll be sitting in that PTL meeting like, oh, so this is what we doing, huh? So you got Morris Chestnut, you just drooling over Morris Chestnut, huh? So he's supposed to be a kindergarten teacher now, huh? Man, fuck that. I'd be mad. So I cannot blame wives or whatever, girlfriends or whatever, when their husbands like, why are you so committed to our daughter's education all of a sudden when your ass was never before? Oh, I see. You see all that scattered ass at the school. It happens. I've seen it. But let's move on. So another topic of conversation was navigating professionalism and public personas. We touched on this a little bit. We'll explore the broader implications of the controversy. We're going to discuss the risk for educators with public social media personas, touching on the potentials for blurred boundaries with students and the risk of false accusations, as mentioned before on this channel. Look, there is too many teacher scandals going on right now. Too many. I am still fascinated on how much it still happens, to a point where it's become like an obsession of mine. I am not obsessed with these sickies. I am obsessed with the fact that it is still happening at the level. You cannot go almost a week without another teacher bites the dust. Another one. It's like DJ Khaled is monitoring these scandals. Another one. It is ridiculous. But it keeps happening. And there has been a lot of this stuff just going on over times. And it gets to a point where it's like, are we blurred? Okay, do you not have a sense of? And this is me talking to a teacher. If a friend of mine was a teacher, I do have teachers that are friends that are teachers, but if they were like teacher bay types of situations, my advice would be, okay, why would you even want to risk a situation, especially when minors are involved, where there can be any room for not stereotyping, for people who want to blow up the spot and fill in the blanks. Because the more you say, that's the more ammunition they're going to have against you. The less you say, that's more time for them to create their own narratives. It's a lose-lose situation. Why give them any reason to come at you? That will just be my point to it. Don't give them an inch. That people always take a mile, right? It always happens. It always happens.
Music lover, I just donated $5. She's attractive, but her outfit isn't suitable for a teacher's role.
We got people sending in comments from all over, and we'll address it. But thank you for it. We'll see, and that's true. She is attractive. That outfit is not suitable for a teacher's role, in a lot of people's opinion. And when you have people at that age with all that confusion, the hormones and stuff, it becomes a situation. Now, so let me go into some of these comments that I found online, and I want to address it for a second, because what I really worry about a lot is blurred lines. And I try to tell people, why even put yourself in a situation where people can even assume, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm not saying that you don't look good, or in any other setting, girl, I'll be like, do it, lady. You know what I'm saying? Or you walking down the street, you headed to the club, or you going to a bar, you going to out with your friends, or they're doing this and doing that. That's fine. But when you walking into an elementary school, middle school, high school, people are gonna be like, and all the boys in the classroom are like, damn. You have situations where young ladies are being targeted on social medias for self-esteem issues and stuff. What depression is being, it's all kinds of madness out there trying to keep up with the Joneses and stuff. But are we being fair? Now let me flip the script on you for a little bit. Let me flip the script. Are we being fair? So let's move on to the last part of this show. Hypersexualization of black women. Are we being fair to Miss Williams, though? Let's play a little. I'll do the devil's advocate, right? So right now I'm going to address the racial, and Brianna was helped me out with that earlier. The racial and gendered stereotypes that are always at play, and how black women with natural curves are often hypersexualized, and how this scrutiny is weaponized against them in public opinion. Twerking and big booties and all that stuff was considered to a lot of people being overweight, being disgusting, not attractive, not professional, blah, 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 blah. But second, a Kardashian started to doing it, and she was like, I feel like for me, and they're like, yeah, there you go. Then all of a sudden it was like, ooh, that's hot, and then all of a sudden when more people of other races starting to figure out how to working the mechanics and the proper structure of a proper twerk section. Then all of a sudden twerking wasn't considered ghetto, and all of a sudden I was like, ooh, that's attractive. It's attractive when that girl is doing it. But when the prototype is doing it, ew, thugs, ew. You know what I'm saying? It happens too much. So is Miss Williams a victim of that? Think about this. She is an educator. She obviously is not getting fired anytime soon for some reason. She's been doing this for a minute. Is it clout or is it overhyped? What is it, right? But let's look into it a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Here we go. Let's look into it a little bit. Let me go right here. Go not full mass. Let's go here. All right. Let's start with number one. The Jezebel is a caricature normalizing sexual violence and abuse historically. The Jezebel stereotype portrayed black women as inheritably hypersexual and promiscuous to justify the violence perpetrated against enslaved black women. This is a historical lesson. By painting black women as insatiable, perpetrators escaped accountability, creating a dangerous and long-lasting precedent where black women who are victim of sexual violence often met with less empathy and are less likely to have their experiences defined as great. There is a history to this. When people, especially on social media, they'll see a certain young lady doing a certain thing, looking a certain way. It don't matter if it's the big booty, big, the top heavy. Don't matter. Twerking don't matter. And you're like, ooh, sexy, nice. Same. It can be a woman of color with the exact same body type. Ew, girl. It is a thing, right? Number two. Let me see if I have it right here. I'm sorry. Number two. Hypersexualization and adultification bias erodes black girls' innocence. This extends to black girls who are often perceived as less innocent, more mature, and more knowledgeable about sex than their white peers. This Adultification bias can lead to harsher punishments in school and a denial of children, forcing black girls to police their appearance and actions from a young age. Is she getting so much attention because people are coming at her with this preconceived notion that she is just inherently over-sexualized because that's how they all are? That's the question. I'll let you guys decide that. Number 3, public scrutiny is used to silence and intimidate black women. The hypersexualization and anger-based sci-fi stereotypes are often weaponized against black women in public discourse. When black women speak out or enter mainstream spaces, they are met with stereotypes meant to invalidate their authority and intelligence. This pressure to shrink themselves or stay silent is a tactic used to intimidate and control them, particularly when they rightfully express anger and assertiveness. You'll hear a lot of stories, like in hospitals, that when women go in and ask for like pain meds and stuff, if it's a woman of color, people assume, well, you just must be just here for the drugs. You know, there's even a notion out there that black people can handle more pain than other people. So there's just a lot of things, like to think that just because we had a black president that racism ended is some stupid shit. But to think that these stereotypes, just because they might sound ridiculous to you, doesn't mean it's not somebody else's truth. It may be dumb to you, but it's somebody else's truth. You know what I'm saying? They're all the same. And this is one of the good ones. You've heard that before. Cultural appropriations commodifies and erases black women's bodies. Celebrities, often non-black, can adopt curvy silhouette. We just talked about this. Curvy silhouettes through cosmetic surgery. Let me push the button. The Kardashians. For me. Or other means, and be celebrated for their figures, while black women with natural curves are simultaneously subjected to ridicule and mockery. This culture appropriation detaches the desired physical features from their black origins, allowing for the commodification or the atheistic aesthetics, while black women faces humiliations and negative scrutiny for their natural bodies. It happens, and I have a black daughter. I'm worried that it's going to happen. This is something that has been happening. Is Miss Williams just a victim of things like that? It's just too many variables at play. I said I might have my opinion, but
why show off your body to them? This isn't a controversial opinion.
That is a good question. We'll get into it. I'm going to read them all again later, but thank you for that. But this is a good question, right? We're streaming live on a lot of platforms now. We're on YouTube, Twitch. We're on. And thank you guys for watching. I see you guys on Instagram and whatnot. Go to the tip link, www.streamlabs.com. /T3 Media /tips, or on YouTube if you want to send a question. I'm going to read them all no matter what, but I appreciate the people who donate, and I always give a shout out to those who do, and I will do that at the end of the segment. We're almost done. I think this is the last point that I'm going to make. Number 5, media perpetrates controlling images for public consumption's media, including music, videos, and reality television, perpetrates and profits from these controlling images, showcasing black women in a narrow, stereotype light. Repeated exposures to these caricatures as hypersexuals, confrontational, and aggressive reinforces the racist and sexist belief that shape public opinion, impacting how black women are treated in various social and professional settings. Is Miss Williams just being targeted for being a curvy black woman? That is the question. Look, overall, I put all of these things in my head at the same time while thinking about these types of topics. But my personal opinion, you as a professional, we know how the world works. We know how the world is. Now, whether you're just a person who's just so comfortable in their skin that, you ain't going to let the haters hate and this and that and the other, that's fine. But the setting, you are around children. And there are too many, and I might be one of them, too many parents out there who will take an inch and make it and stretch it out to a mile. I will be a parent, and if I saw my wife standing next to Mr. Teacher Bay looking like Morris Chestnut over there, and she's laughing too hard at his jokes, that shit wasn't even that funny, I'm going to go talk to the assistant principal, because I'll start with the assistant principal, right? Because that motherfucker needs to feel important. So I feel like that something could happen. If I talk to the principal, they might be like, man, come on, quit tripping. Like, Mr. whatever his name is, Mr. Chestnut is a good teacher. And it's not your wife's fault that, he's attractive. Just, stop being so insensitive. So I start with the assistant principal, because I feel like then something going to happen. I'm going to get that motherfucker fired, because I didn't like the way he made my wife laugh. So there's too much room for shit like that to happen. So I don't even put myself in that situation. And then on top of that, you got kids in the room. You got all those hormones. This is an age where these hormones, it's like a perfect storm of this stuff to go down. So my question to you guys is, what do you all think about stuff like that? Like, do you think that it's too much? Do you think that it's thank you, Wimbley. And I'll get to all the comments toward the end. So, and I guess that's a perfect segue into the why is it trending. So let's talk about why is this trending. It's trending because we have an attractive young lady who is getting a lot of attention based on her body type, her sexuality, the setting that it's in. You even have a lot of people who do like corn or or OnlyFans, things like that, who even pretend to be teachers because it's so taboo. And knowing this, why would you, as a real educator, I'm not saying let the people who are obviously just body shaming you win, but is your statement or your movement, if that's what this is, unless you're a clout chaser, so important that it risks the development of that young lady or that young man that's in your classroom, who is already at an age where they are going through so much mentally and hormonally? You knew what it was like. You know how confusing it can be. You know how much pressure it is, and you know how much how with bullying and things going on. Are we, as the school body, are we paying you to be a progressive person that moves this narrative forward, or are we paying you as an educator? Pick a fucking lane. That's all I'm saying. That's just me. But your opinion might be different. You might be like, man, Chris, stop hating. Man, she fine. You know what I'm saying? Let her do her thing. So let's go through some of the comments on here. So we're going to head to this is the a portion of the show where we talk about your live chat. I'm sorry I'm not able to display it on the screen. For the people that are in the live chat, we have Garuda Legend saying, homeschooling is graded in public or private education. I disagree personally. I'm already going through something personally about that. Don't get me started with homeschooling. Now, homeschooling, depending on the situation, is probably best for some people. There are students who have disabilities. There are students who have anxiety. There's a bunch of situations where homeschooling might be best, but I feel like you learn how to communicate and you know how to socialize properly. We are a society, and elementary, middle school, high school is where you learn how to interact with your fellow human being. You're closed off. You're behind the screen. You are going to. There's too many. It's not a broad brush that paints on everybody, but there's a lot of situations where people come up with not knowing really how to engage with society as well as people who do go through that. Then on top of that, we still have awkward situations no matter what situation you're in, and and vice versa. So yeah, I guess it's all subjective, right? And it depends. We're not all the same. Brianna Jasmine continues, we are so back. I'm talking about, we're back on Thursdays. All right. Talking Through the Media is back Thursdays, this time, 7:00. On Saturdays, I will be doing Talking Through the Movie. So if you're a movie geek like me, you want to talk movies, Saturdays on this channel, check us out. On top of all the other things that we do on the channel. So hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think at all time. We appreciate it. And thank you guys out there who are supporting the channel on the levels that you're, whether you're sending a regular chat in the comment in the live chat, or if you're sending a donation. We always appreciate you guys. Always. Garuda Legends continues on. Dang it. I did make a girl a macaroni ring and asked her to marry me when we was in kindergarten. I am a tragic romantic. Yeah, well, our hormones are going crazy during those times, right? Yeah. I did something similar at that age. He continues on with, she said yes. Hey, congratulations. So I am technically married. Sucks for you, bro. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. Get to cutting the grass, man. Let's see. He continues on again. I put a lot of creativity into that macaroni ring. We are just on this macaroni ring. I'm gonna cut through. And he says, apparently, I am the weird one to return the book. The situation mostly is that there's too much, in my opinion, room for confusion. These kids are at an age where, and society, how, people love to misread what your intent is. And they love to fill in their own narrative. Why would you, and that there's a mom or a dad out there who's going to paint you in a brush. Maybe it's out of jealousy, maybe it's out of racism, maybe it's out of whatever it is. But they're Miss Williams, you're seeing it. These comments are half of them are in support, and the other half they want to see your destruction. I saw the word predator on there, and maybe you're not. Maybe you're probably just all about teaching. But there's too much room for interpretation. Like, are you just a clout chaser? You've been doing this for a while. Do you need that much attention? Is this about insecurity? Is about so many things that people are gonna call you and paint this brush with, right? And it's going to happen. So if it's worth it, that's on you. That's I guess. That's just how it is. But people. It's up to you. People have to make their own decisions on what.
Lasco donated $50. There's nothing wrong with her dress, but she's clearly.
Thank you, free agent. There's nothing wrong, and that moves us into. All right, let's finalize this. This is free agent Lasco says there's nothing wrong with her dress, but she's clearly seeking attention. Dang, she's clearly seeking attention, right? Is what a lot, and whether it's jealousy or whatever it is, that's what you're going to hear a lot. And when you have students around who are encouraging, you already got the dads out there in the car ride line waiting to get a glimpse of you, right? Coming to the PTA meetings, right? PTA, whatever it's called, meetings. But you also got these teenagers, boys and girls, looking at you too. And if the parents are filling in the blanks and coming up with their own stereotypes and coming up with their own opinions and assumptions about you. You know them students are. That's all I'm saying. Cool Dude MD, who sends $15 and says, Black women aren't the ones being arrested every other day for harming kids. They should focus on the real threats. Okay. Okay, that was weird. Going back again to Wimby fan says, Tipson25 says, why show off your body to them? This isn't a controversial opinion. Why show off your body like that? I mean, it's her body. It's her choice. Music lover Aisha says she's attractive, but her outfit isn't suitable for a teacher's role. I mean, look, nobody's saying that you can't pull it off, but why put yourself in a situation where you're opening yourself up for attack? Is the juice worth the squeeze? I guess that's the question. Let me know what you guys think, man. Overall, is the juice worth the squeeze? I'm like, man, you know, you're going to have the grown men walking past in the hallway going, and then her student going to finish the sentence. Gots to be more careful. Is it worth it? Maybe she feels like it is. Maybe she knows she ain't going to do nothing crazy. The problem is, in my opinion, Miss Williams, you probably just you're opening yourself up to too many attacks. But if you like it, I love it. And who am I to judge? But if I was a parent who had my which I am in my kids was in that school, I don't know where I'd land on this. Especially if you was my son's teacher. I'm like, Miss Williams. I'm pretty sure my wife would make sure that my ass would not be at that PTA meeting ever again. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Talking Through the Medias, your home for trending news, reviews by fans for fans. Next, we will be coming back on Saturday to talk Talking Through the Movies. We will have Ricky Buzz back on the show. He will be going to the Toronto Film Festival, and we're going to be talking about the movies he's going to screen and review for you guys from the Toronto Film Festival up in Canada. And we'll also finally catch up on this show to discuss the conventions that we've been visiting. I'm so behind, but we will be discussing the conventions. Hopefully, if Joy's feeling better, guys, wish her well. She's a little under, she's not under the weather, but you know, that's just, you know, she'll tell you what it is. It's nothing major, but you know, I'll just keep it like that. A little under the weather. That's why she's not co-hosting with me today. But hopefully, if she's feeling up to it, maybe she'll be back with me on Saturday. Maybe not, because I don't know. We'll see. But it will be me and Ricky on Saturday for Talking Through the Movies. Go follow us on all the socials. Hit the like, subscribe button. Even if you don't really do the podcast thing, help me out, man. If you go to Spotify or something like that, follow it. Hit the comments or something, the stars or something. It all helps us out here. Twitch, especially. I got 17 followers on Twitch and like almost 15,000 on YouTube. That's an imbalance. If you are on Twitch, help a brother out. Just hit the follow. It's all the same stuff here. Just help us out real quick. But definitely keep talking, as I always say, because I love reading y'all's opinions. Bye, Brianna, Legends. I'll talk to you guys next week for Talking Through the Medias. And see you guys Saturday. Until next time, guys. Peace. Thank you guys for watching our video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, you can support our show by becoming a member or a patron. So click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you'll never miss out on when we go live or post new content. Let's stay connected, grow this community together. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep talking.